To discuss, I do want to bring in Chris Markowski, founder of Markowski Investments. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon.
So let's start off with job growth in the U.S. private sector, as payroll firm ADP did report today that private companies added 978,000 workers in May. Leisure and hospitality sector leading those gains for the second straight month. What's your reaction to today's report?
I'm happy. It's still a slow go. I mean, we're still approximately about 8 million jobs behind where we were pre-pandemic. I'm glad to see by the middle of July, you're going to have 24 states that are going to completely eliminate the extra federal $300 a week as far as unemployment is concerned, which I think would further encourage people to get back into the workforce. That's the issue right now. The labor market is extraordinarily tight. Many businesses around the country are having a very hard time attracting workers, and we need to get these people back into the workforce.
Today's private sector report does come ahead of the official May jobs report from the Labor Department on Friday, and that's expected to show an addition of 670,000 jobs, with the unemployment rate falling to 5.9%. Had a really big miss back in April.
Yeah.
Are you feeling any better about May?
I mean, I think it really can't get much worse than it was in April as far as what we were expecting and what we got, or what the powers that be were expecting. To me, it was kind of obvious. I do think that the push is now on. I think some of these people that have been on extended unemployment for a period of time are starting to recognize that there's going to be more competition coming very shortly. So I do think that you'll see an improvement over last month, but I don't know if we're going to see the numbers that we really need to see. Again, you're talking 8 million jobs that we need to make up. That's massive job creation that we're going to need to see over the next year.
Today's unemployment data did show weekly jobless claims falling below 400,000 for the first time since last March. Continuing claims, though, did rise by 169,000 for the previous week, and employers are still reporting a labor shortage as they struggle to get employees back to work. You mentioned this just a second ago, but the expanded federal unemployment benefits are set to last at this point through September. Several governors, though, they've pulled their states out early. Do you think the federal government should be revising that timeline and ending the entire program early altogether?
Oh, I certainly believe that's the case. Not going to happen. I mean, I got a better chance of flying tomorrow than the federal government pulling that back. That's just not going to work for them. You take a look. You mentioned the initial claims that you just mentioned there. Those are people that are getting laid off. Businesses can't really afford to lay people off. I speak to business owners from around the country, and they're basically dealing with workers that show up late, are not doing the best of doing their best on the job. And what are they going to do? They really can't get rid of them at this point in time because they can't replace them.
The Fed's Beige Book on yesterday did show an increased growth among all sectors of the country, all 12 districts in the country, seeing a moderate pace of economic growth between April and May. Business owners, though, responding to that survey, are still raising issues about supply shortages and, again, the labor shortage. How do we tackle the supply shortage and, with that, the rising costs that are causing that issue for business owners?
I'm always a big believer that the government needs to get out of the way. The last thing in the world we're going to need to do is have the government step in and try to deal with these supply issues. And what I mean by getting the government out of the way is get rid of a myriad of regulatory problems that slow supply chains down. Again, we need to start bringing more of our supply chains back here to the United States. There is a lot of money chasing way too few goods, and this is why the price of everything is going up. It's getting to be almost absurd when you're talking about building costs, certain commodities out there, even food, and that you can take that outside of the latest hack that you had there. The prices were going up beforehand. So again, we need to unleash those animal spirits here in this country, get the government out of the way, and get people building and creating again.
All right, Chris Markowski, founder of Markowski Investments, joining us to discuss the latest data on the labor market as the economy continues to rebound. Thanks as always for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Greta.